Hi all, we'll wait for 2-3 more minutes just to see if any more people would like to join. Neetu, yeah, for now, we'll just cover this question only, and it's also a good quality question, and we will try to touch upon a lot of aspects like convexity, like when do you need convexity adjustment, because for this one question explicitly said that that you can ignore convexity part, so we just will consider duration adjustment for our calculation. In meantime, can you just guys tell me what, when are you appearing? Everyone here is August, or like you can put a comment box, or you can just unmute yourself and tell me.
August.
August and Neetu August, and who else we have? Uh Devogo, August, November. Just out of interest, if you can unmute or put in a chat box. Devogo, can you hear us? Devogo, you're there, or like just some bot has joined our Zoom link? Okay, I think he cannot hear us, or there is some technical issue. Okay. Good evening, Subramaniam sir. Yeah, Neetu, we can just take this up offline. Fine, I think we have most of people who might have joined. It's still like people will just join in between. So yeah. So before we start, like, see, this could be your situation. Like, I think there was some formula that was shared for this question, like the very fancy formula with no background to it. Like, I think, see, it was like quite heavy mathematical, or I would say maths intensive formula. But uh, see, I would say that like one of the great mathematician had said that uh, like equation has no meaning unless it express something. So over there also, like, to me honestly, that equation was not conveying me something. So that was the reason I thought there could be a better way, which could be like more intuitive and student can remember in the exam. So it shouldn't happen like this student that we have here, like what is the duration formula, what is convexity, why do these even exist. And in duration also we have got few terms like macaulayduration, modifiedduration, what's the background of that. So like these are all things you need to know, and just keep it very simple, then your exam would be very smooth. The more you try to make it complex, like the situation would be this guy, and you may be in a chaos during exam. So just try to just for a very important tip for you guys is, like, try to make it as simple as possible. Like, I know people have a wrong impression that if we keep their approach simple, they'll not clear. Trust me, it is other way around. So like, yeah, you will experience in this one question. So let's move ahead. So, and yeah, I think there was some issue with live streaming, so we could not come live on YouTube. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed our channel, please do that. It helps us getting maximum reach. So the question that was shared in the group was from paper 4, and like the some part of paper 3 also, properties of interest rates. Over there we talk about duration and convexity and DV01. So let's see. And yeah, like please stay till the end, and like I'll just try to make you think. So this was a question that there is a fixed income portfolio of total 700 million, out of which 500 million is invested in coupon-bearing bond, which is paying semi-annual coupon of 6%. And we have another bond. Let me just highlight keywords. So like the total portfolio is of 700 million. One of the bond is like you is coupon bearing bond, which is paying 76%, and maturity is 10-year and paying semi-annual coupon. And another one is 200 million, which is also 10-year bond, but it is zero coupon bond. So yeah, situation is like this. And you have been asked that what happens to your portfolio? Like what is the total change? What is the new value? Rather, not it's the new value of your portfolio. See, in exam, there could be traps. In this question, you are asked what is the new value of your portfolio. So what you will do, you will, this is your say this is current when you bought this portfolio, and say after 75 bips change in the interest rate, final portfolio is value is this. So currently what you have been asked is this portfolio, new portfolio value. If you have been asked what is the change, then you will just take a difference, portfolio final minus initial. So just highlighting few of the traps that you may get in your exam. So yeah, current situation is this: you have fixed income portfolio, one bond is coupon bearing, paying 6% semi-annual 10-year bond, and another one is zero coupon 10-year bond. So this is a situation, and you have been asked what is new portfolio if your delta Y is 75 basis point. When I say delta Y, it increases. You have been told that it increases. So let's see how do we address this. Firstly, understand that when we talk about, so just trying to cover basics also, like it may take 10-15 minutes, but like I need to ensure that I cover end to end. So when we talk about duration, so there are two types of duration. One is called as a Macaulay duration and another one is modified duration. So when we talk about Macaulay duration, it is just the average time until you receive your cash flows back. So intuitively, like say for example, this 10-year bond has coupon, 6% coupon, like you will please avoid writing on my screen, please. It creates confusion. So please like don't scrabble on the board. It's not, I mean, try erasing from your end. Like please, if you're really like here to learn, please be there. Otherwise, yeah, like this is just for benefit of all. We share the link in the group. Otherwise, we usually don't do that. So please avoid writing on the scratch pad. Okay, so 10-year bond, like you are getting some coupons in return. So if you invested 100, there would be some cash flow coming into you during the life of the bond. So like it's a average time you receive your 100 back. So it would be say it's the maturity is 10-year because you have cash flows in between. So your duration, Macaulay duration would be say around 7 or 8 years because you are receiving $3 in a semi 6 months. So it is not really you will receive 100 at maturity, like what happens in the zero coupon bond. So that's why we say for a zero, very important point, for a zero coupon bond, your time to maturity is duration. Like because you don't have any interim cash flows, so your duration and your maturity matches. Whereas it is not with a coupon. When your coupon increases, your duration decreases because like more faster you receive your money back, lesser the duration of your debt would be. So that's how it can be interpreted. The another form, and any doubts, please feel free to stop or raise hand, put in the comment box. And when we talk about, I'm being bit faster because I know you guys have exam in next week. So I'm assuming that you know bit of it. So, and when we talk about modified duration, we talk about what is the percentage change in the bond price with 1% change in the yield. So in our current example, we have been given 75 basis point. Instead of 100 basis point, we have been given 75 basis point. And we have been asked to calculate change in the bond portfolio value. And yeah, so these were the key topics. Any doubts on this before I go ahead? Like Macaulay duration is just a weighted average time. So unit of Macaulay duration is time. And when we talk about modified duration, it is you can say it is a percentage. What is percentage change in your bond price when you're 1%? There is a change in yield by 1%. Any doubts in this so far? Yes, no, please acknowledge. Otherwise, it shouldn't happen that it's one-way communication. So please acknowledge if you understood so far so that I can go ahead. Can see some comment. All clear. Aishwarya, all clear? Aishwarya,
Yeah, all clear.
Aishwarya, Nirbhai, Nitu, Sharmin. Sharmin gave thumbs up, so I think they're good. So I'll move ahead. Yeah. So this is about Macaulay duration and duration. So be very clear what duration. Mostly in exam, it would be modified duration that we usually talk about, but you should know. And this is something which is a pictorial representation of uh, the bond price. Like what if your interest rate changes by, say, there is a change in interest rate, what is corresponding change in bond price? So your vertical axis is a bond price, your horizontal axis is a interest rate. So when your interest rate changes, what is your corresponding change in the bond price? But very important thing to note here is, like, this is blue portion I'll not touch upon. This is for callable bonds. We are not talking here about callable bonds, so it's fine. But like, very important to note, when you measure this delta x by or delta y by delta x, what is change in bond price with change in interest rate? You are talking about duration, but very important to note that duration is something which does not capture this curvature part. Like duration that I cap will give you like, say for example, you have got duration. If you try to approximate a price change using the duration, it will not give you this curvature part. So this curvature, your actual bond prices are on this curve, whereas duration will give you approximation on this linear line. So that is the reason, like, for small changes, very important point, you can make a note of it. Like if your interest rate is changing by a small amount, then duration is a good approximation to calculate price change. When your interest rate moves are huge, then duration alone is not sufficient to capture change in bond price. You have to take into account convexity part as well. When I talk about convexity, it's just a measurement of this difference that you see between linear line and the curve. So moving ahead, like as I said, that total price change actually should be the duration effect plus convexity effect, because as I said, duration only captures linear part, convexity captures curvature part as well. So you have to consider convexity part as well, so that you measure accurately the change in price. But if your yield is not changing materially, then this much amount is also sufficient to quantify change in price. Okay, so now the next formula is, how do I measure this D? So to calculate D, you have to give, say, you have to bump up your interest rate. So currently, say for example, I'm here. I have to bump up my interest rate by a certain amount. I have to bump down my interest rate by a certain amount and measure the price change. So like in this case, in our case, that question that we were talking about, we will shock our interest rate by 65 basis point. So we will check that what is the impact of this yield move when yield goes down by this and up by this. So V minus is, you measure when your interest rate goes down by 65 basis point, what is the price? You measure what is the price when your interest rate goes up. And denominator, this is something which is your price today. Like in our case, it was given, like, I don't know if you notice, but it was told that we bought it at par. So this V0 would be par. Otherwise, it is the price at which you buy actually, or a current price from where you are giving shocks, 75 basis point and minus 75 plus 75. And convexity is something that is a measure of curvature. This formula you need to remember. And this is also because sometimes there are, in exam, there are questions. But see, to be honest, it is intuitive. Like what I'm trying to do, currently my price is here, say V0. I'm trying to measure what is impact when my yield goes down So my price goes up. So this range. So on this side, I'm checking what is my impact of my interest rate increase. So my bond price goes down. So I'm doing, I'm just quantifying these distances, taking an average because I want to see from here where I'll move. So divide by 2 is because you are taking an average and you multiply with original price and the delta y because that this is per unit change that we are trying to measure. So in this case, it would be 75 basis point. And this is your initial price that has to be factored in. So there is background to it, this formula, unlike what was shared in group, which did not have any background. And this one also you need to remember. So the initial price or V0, similar kind of thing is there. And delta Y square is there because duration is or convexity is like, I'll not go into mathematical detail, but it is like your second order mathematical derivative. So it's squared and this remains same. And there is one more component minus 2p. For exams, I would say that remember this as well, because sometimes you are asked to calculate convexity impact also. But I gave you at least some background. Of course, having complete intuition on second order derivative is bit of challenge. So I would encourage you to remember at least for a week time. And yeah, let's solve the numerical. So I'll assume that currently you are in this and finally after solving this, you would be in this situation. So just allow me a moment. Let me go to the worksheet that I have to solve. Yeah, what's the coupon? Like what should be coupon here?
3.
3. So we have coupon here till the 10th year of 3. And when I talk about PV of question, I'll just take a present value. This I'm demonstrating going back to Macaulay duration and demonstrating both Macaulay duration as well as modified duration. In Macaulay duration, I said that it is a weighted average time when you receive your coupons back, like you receive your cash back. So I'm discounting my present value, like coupon. So it is 1 plus because it is semi-annual, YTM is also 6%. So it would be say 0.3 to the power your current time window. So this is something I have discounted here. And so these are your present value of cash flows. And if I give weight, so when I say weight, this cash flow you're receiving it first time. So weight would be 1. These are weights. So if I just multiply this and this is your weight of your cash flow. So these are your PV of your weights. And if I just divide this by, so your ideally what I should be doing, I should be not really multiplying first because weight as in what is your current price. So if I just sum this up, all discounted cash flows, it is like 544. Ideally, it shouldn't be 800. Yeah, it's 103 because at par, we will have coupon as well as your principal. So it is 100. So this is your price. And like if I just take a weight of this price, like this present value coupon, how much percentage of this cash is. So this is my weight. Just allow me a moment. Let me just divide it by, just hard code it. So these are your weights. And if I just do some product of this time and this cash flow. So this is, you can see, this is your modified duration. Oh, sorry, this is your Macaulay duration. And because this was semi-annual, it is in context of when you're actually 20 years, it would have been 15, but it is given semi-annual. This is your modified duration. On 7th year, initially, whatever amount you invested, you will get back. So anyways, this is V0 that we needed in our formula. And I'll just paste these formulas here and I'll get it here. Like main, I'm interested here. So what is change? So my now coupon is 6.75%. Can you tell me what should be semi-annual coupon? it should, or YTM, like I'm just talking about YTM because in our question it was given when your interest rate goes up to by 75 basis point. So your YTM is now 6.75%. So semi-annual it is 3.375. So I'll just change the discounting factor here to 3.375. Can you tell me how you will do in exam? Of course, in exam, you will not have calci. So can you tell me how will you do it? Like, of course, I'm going into too detail just to make your concepts clear, but in exam, how will you do it? This 94, how will you calculate this? Aishwarya, Neetu, like, I think you guys have exams, so any guesses? Like, it's a simple, you have YTM, you have coupon, you have maturity of bond. So you need to calculate price of bond. How will you do it on calci? Come on, fast. Quick, Aishwarya, how will you do it on calci?
Using PV buttons.
PV or like you have to just put in N, PMT, IY. So IY you will put as 6.75%, or like you can divide it by 2 because you would be putting N as 20. You have to calculate price when your yield goes from 6% to 6.75%. Okay, so you will just calculate the price when your yield goes to 6.75%. You will put PMT as 3, N as 20, and IY only we will make as this one, 3.375. That I just changed here. Like, of course, divide by 2 because it's a semi-annual discounting factor. So you will change it to 3. If you have got calci, I will in fact encourage you to do it right away and verify if you are getting this price. Do you have calci handy? Need to Aishwarya by chance? Yes, no, maybe, or we can go ahead. You can just verify it later.
Yeah, I'm trying it in calci.
Yeah, just help me that it's if it's correct. Of course, it should be because technically we are going right. In meantime, I'll just paste these formulas here.
Yeah, it is 94.61.
6.1, it's of course same. Now you first tell me, I'll calculate. Now you tell me first, what is the price when your yield goes to, say, this thing, like your drops by 75 basis point, that is it goes to 5.25%. So just put IY as 2.625 and tell me what's the price.
It's 105.78.
Okay, just let me put here. How much was it? Just give me a moment. 2.625. So I'm just changing discounting factor, nothing else absolutely. 2.625%, and I just change the discounting factor. So I think you also told me same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you notice, when your coupon or YTM is going up, okay, what is happening? Your YTM is going up. So like your duration is coming down, and so I think let me not make you confused. The example that was given in the slide was comparing coupon and duration, but currently we are focusing on YTM. Coupon is 3% for all three scenarios. Now, as I told you that the formula for duration was, anyone remembers, like your bump up your price by 75 basis point in this case. So your price will like your bump up your interest rate 75 basis point, your price came down, bump down your interest rate, your price went up. Can anyone remember what was formula for duration? Just duration I'm asking about. Price impact we will calculate, but duration. So you change your price. So it is 105. Yeah. Would you like to say, Aishwarya?
Yeah, change in price divided by change in the
Perfect.
interest rate divided by the par value.
2 into par value, because this will give you range. As I said that it is from V0 to V plus, and this is V0 to V minus. So because you are going in both direction, that's why you have to divide it by 2 as well. So change in price when you bump up your yield by 75 basis points and down by 75 basis points. So this is difference of that divided by 2 into my par value, which was 100 into what else? Change in yield. In this case, it was 75 basis points. When I say 75 basis point, it is 0.00075. So ideally, this is my duration. When I say this duration, which duration I'm referring here?
Modified.
Modified. The duration above you see what I have calculated here is Macaulay duration, weighted average weights, and you divide it by like just do a sum product. These are timings are your weight, and like this is how you calculate. And yeah, and 7.44 is your modified duration. Now it's quite simple. Like I have got two bonds. Say first bond was bond A, that was 6%, 10 years that we were looking at above. Another bond, say that zero coupon bond was bond B, which had around 200 million. This has 500 million. And like change in, so how you calculate change in bond value by 75 basis, you just multiply bond duration with this into how much duration has changed, because this is 1% change. I want, so 100 basis point change, but I want to see for 75 basis point change. So what I'll do, I'll just multiply bond value divided into my modified duration into how much basis point, because see, this is change for 100 basis point. I want to see change for duration is change in bond value when your yield changes by 1%. So what the formula gives you is 1% change, but I want to change for 0.75% change. So this is my change. This is my current bond portfolio, current portfolio value. This is change, and this is final value, what I'll get. So final value in change in bond is, so 500 minus this value. And for, can anyone tell me what is duration of zero coupon bond?
20 only. Like 10 years.
10 years, right? So the duration is 10 instead of 7.44. This was a key that you had to derive. It's quite simple. It just to cover your basics. I went little in detail, but yeah, it's just a simple formula V plus minus V0 over 2 into V0 times your change in delta. So that's formula that you see here. This is what I was referring to. So this was a key of this formula. Otherwise, just this was just explanation just to make your concepts clear in mind. So this is 200 current value, and change would be 200 into, can you tell me what I should apply?
10 into
10. Perfect.
0.0075.
Yeah, perfect. So duration is 10. That's the key point here. And 75 basis point. So this is my change. So my new value would be 185 million. So total would be your 657. That's was in our question. This was just allow me a moment. Not sure it is. So this is something which I would say that this is your final answer. So any doubts, any confusion, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to share. I know like you have got exam, but yeah. Anything, any convexity, like will you take? Of course, we are not bound to give you homeworks, but like take it as a homework. If I were to apply convexity adjustment also in this bond, what should be my value? That's how like you can go about it, and tell. I mean, feel free to share answer in the group, and yeah, that will give you more clarity how things are like applied. And yeah, any comments, feel free to share. Like, was it clear? Was it too detailed? Like, any reviews, please.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Yeah, I mean, as a faculty, we are not like allowed to disclose name, but yeah, thanks. So, what, like, you
Thank you so
understood,
much
right?
for explaining. Yeah, I understood.
Yeah.
And yeah, if convexity is also given, then in the change column, we would just add the formula which you showed before, like half into convexity
Hmm.
into
Yeah.
bond price and to change in the interest rate square.
Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. So, and I would
Thank you
encourage you
so
to
much,
do,
Raj.
yeah, I would encourage you to do that and share in the group. That's something which you can explore on your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, all the best and for your preparation and exam. Like feel free to share your doubts in the group. If time permits, we would take it up. Yeah. Yeah, I think you have raised hand. Tell me.
Yeah, I had a doubt. Like, generally, I just wanted to get a clarity now because we did this question. Like for zero coupon bond, the duration doesn't change. As the coupon increases, the duration decreases, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And how is the change in YTM affecting duration? Can you just clarify it again?
Okay. Like coupon increases, decreases the duration. So you want to know how YTM impacts your duration.
Yeah,
See, YTM exactly what it will does, it will decrease your value of coupon more. Say for example, this $3, the present value that you were receiving was 2.91. If I make it say like something like 4%, if your rate is going up, so how much you're receiving less today? Like instead of 2.9, you're receiving 2.8. So that's how you can think that increase in YTM decreases the value of coupon that you receive. Hence, your duration goes up. It can be interpreted in that way.
okay, okay. Like inverse relationship between YTM and duration.
Yes, and be very careful. Like in which scenario is given? Was it a coupon scenario? Because you may be given two coupons, two bonds of different coupons, and like you might be asked the course testing area could be like, what is the impact on duration? Another could be like same bond, but you might be given that YTM is changing, how it will impact your duration. Is it making sense? Like
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
permutations and combination may be asked in the exam.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Yeah, thanks for the clarity.
Most welcome. All the very best, and please feel free to share your doubts in the group. Like if time, as I said, if time permits, we can like take this up like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
All the
thank you
best,
so
friends.
much.
Again, most welcome.